let's begin with something that I rarely begin with. In fact, I can't remember the last time I talked about our little state to the east, Rhode Island. And I got to be honest with you, before I get into this, I don't know any of the players. I don't know the people's audio that I'm about to play. I don't know anything about them. Nothing. I don't even know if they're Republicans or Democrats. But every morning, we have a bunch of radio stations in this network, and they feed each other information. And as I was sifting through stuff this morning, one of our local affiliates sent me some audio with a description of what it's from, and I found it fascinating. So our friends over in Westerly, okay, but this could be happening in your town just as well as it could be happening in Westerly. I believe it happened in New London to a large extent, and it was supposed to happen in Norwich, although I haven't heard much about that. But the Westerly Town Council is considering a resolution that would establish a committee to promote multiculturalism. The idea was put forth by the town's Anti-Racism Coalition. The ARC member, Kevin, I guess it's Lowther. We're going to go with Lowther, says the group has faced some strong opposition. And before I play you Kevin's audio, I think it's important that I tell you the exact Encyclopedia Britannica definition of multiculturalism. Because on the surface, multiculturalism, the idea of all culture, I think the initial response is the idea of all cultures living together under one umbrella. And who could not want that to be the case? All living, again, equally. I think that's a great idea. Now, again, there's that definition of equally and equity, which is something that we can get into maybe later. But multiculturalism, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, multiculturalism, the view that cultures, race, and ethnicities, particularly those of minority groups, deserve special acknowledgement of their differences within a dominant political culture. So, unless I'm a dummy, which is possible, I take that as meaning folks of minority, or folks that represent the minority in a particular area, now deserve special treatment. In Westerly, I guess the dominant culture is Italian or white, I guess. So multiculturalism then would go out of its way to promote different ethnicities, I guess unequally, right? It would either push to the side what's already being represented and try to represent others. And see, instead of just coexisting and looking at each other as human beings, as opposed to looking at each other and solely looking at somebody because of the color of their skin, which to me causes incredible divide. The folks in Westerly and other parts of the country, this state, that state, every state, wants to promote this idea that somehow there are races or ethnicities or cultures that are being underrepresented, or I guess they deserve special types of treatment. Now, I don't understand that. Right? I mean, if we're supposed to all be living equally, let's just live equally. Why is there one special or a number of special, let's say, advantages that are going to be given to certain types of cultures? And what kind of advantages are we talking about? Right? We talked about all of that. Norwich had a similar situation, which I'm not even sure if Norwich put that bill forward and did anything with that quote unquote committee or resolution. Let's hear from Kevin Lowther, as to exactly what he has to say when I guess he faced some strong, he says he faces some strong opposition.
Show our perspective, our lived experience. We've paid somewhat a price of that. We've been spit on and cursed at. It may be very difficult to seat members of this committee because of the environment that we are in.
All right, so I actually have no idea if this is a person of color or not. I have no idea, but it really doesn't matter. So by that audio, he gives me the impression that he has been, or him and his group have been fighting for some sort of multiculturalism, and people are spitting on. You guys are spitting on him in Westerly, being spit on. I, I mean, if that's the case, please let's charge the people spitting with assault, because I'm sure that that's an assault that can stick. Let me hear it again, because that's what he said.
Trying to show our perspective, our lived experience. We've paid somewhat a price of that. We've been spit on and cursed at. It may be very difficult to seat members of this committee because of the environment that we are in.
So, again, I challenge that gentleman. I would love for him to call in somewhere along the line. I'd love to know if, in fact, anybody in Westerly spit on him or any of his group. And I would assume that they're doing it because of the culture or their race. And if that's the case, the people that are doing the spitting should be in jail, or should at least be arrested, charged, and let's see. I'd be all for throwing somebody in jail. If you're spitting on somebody because of the color of their skin, you should be in jail. You're not somebody walking around in a society I want to live in. Now, on the flip side of that, there was pushback from Westerly. And I guess there was another gentleman who, Mr. Phil Overton, has reservations about multiculturalism. Let's hear him.
I'm very concerned that it will morph into a cancel culture committee that will look to cancel the rich Italian heritage in our town. I'm very concerned that it will push to cancel our Columbus Day Parade, and I'm very concerned that it would push to take down our statue of Christopher Columbus, which was made by local Italian artisans.
Now, I wanted to, part of the reason why I wanted to play this morning is because I was talking with a couple of members of a group who represent an Italian group in New London. They put up a flagpole. They raise a flag every single day, American flag, Italian flag. Yeah, God bless them. They do that. They did it with their own money, blah, blah, blah. And they're proud of their ancestry, and they're proud to be Americans. They're patriots through and through, blah, blah, all of that. I mean, it's great. But they're mad as hell that their Columbus statue has been taken down. Now, I don't want to turn this into a Columbus statue day, because that's not the point. But if it can happen in New London, it certainly can happen in Westerly. So this guy's fears are legitimate. Now, whether or not you believe Columbus statue should be up or down, that's a whole different topic. But clearly, there is a group, and that group grows, it seems like, that wants to eliminate things that are uncomfortable from the past. If you feel as though Columbus is uncomfortable, then you want to take those statues down. Some people feel like Abraham Lincoln statues make them uncomfortable, which is borderline insanity, but they want those to come down. Okay. So my question, I guess, is for everyone to ponder, just inside your own head. We don't have time because we get right to the guests here, but in your own head, do you feel like we live in a world right now in 2022 where the idea of multiculturalism is something that should be consistently promoted? And again, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, multiculturalism is the view that cultures, races, and ethnicities, particularly those of minority groups, deserve special acknowledgement of their differences within the dominant political culture. So that to me, and again, maybe somebody else sees that definition differently. I see it as being a distinct way to continue whatever divisiveness exists, to continue to promote that. That's the way I see it. You're promoting one over another, right? And I'm sure that there are people, see, the people out in, let's say, Westerly are afraid that by promoting X, Y, and Z culture, they're going to take away from the Christopher Columbus culture. And the truth is, there's got to be a middle ground, right? There should be, all cultures. Fine. It's all, to me, that seems like that makes the most sense. If that's something that you believe, and you believe in your heart, you believe in, and you want to continue to promote that, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Why would you? Like, I was never somebody who was banging the gong for Christopher Columbus anyway. But if there are people out there who want that and love that, well, why shouldn't they have those parades, and why shouldn't they have those days? Same goes for folks who want to promote whatever culture it is that they want. See, to me, though, what we lose in that, and I guess this is really the crux of it, you have a right to be and do and act any way that you want. I just want you all to remember that, as I said this yesterday, you should think of yourself as an American first, right? You're a citizen of the United States first. And I think if we all look at it that way, see, this to me makes us more divided. It makes you choose a side in a team, right? Instead of just choosing red, white, and blue, it makes you choose